It's 9:05. I should be drooling. AOC went to DC and she acted like it was a big. Someone help me with her full name. Something Cortez, Alexandria.
I don't know.
Ocasio-Cortez.
Oh, you
the
know
politician.
her. She's the most known Democrat politician.
She's the one
right
that
now.
wants to end air travel.
That's actually not true, but anyway, when
She wants to phase it out and make it unnecessary. Right?
You know, it's about time. We need to move on to trains. It turns out Chiz has been ahead of the game the whole time.
Taylor, that's
we
great.
know who Chiz is voting for.
The Green
he's
Deal.
Cortez down ballot.
What it actually said was they wanted to put more trains in so that they could phase out, replace air travel when possible. But the paramotor community went nuts over it, as if they're after our stupid butt fans. Like we're in the crosshairs. But
and as though they're ever going to do that, where it's like, we're going to get rid of air travel. It's like, well, I guess being a businessman is kind of hard now. You just hop on a maglev train and just tear across the country, breaking the sound barrier, blowing out windows in people's homes.
as an American, I don't know what this is like. People seem to like these high-speed trains everywhere else, and I like the idea of less security. But how long is that going to last? I don't know. Like it seems like.
It would not be less security. They'd immediately ratchet it up to TSA levels if they replaced a large amount of flying with this.
You could cause some damage.
The big problem with planes now is parking half a mile away and arriving 90 minutes early. That's the worst part with planes. If you're telling me a train was like, I don't know, instead of a 3-hour flight, it was a 5-hour flight, but I just walked on like it was a car, then I would take that. I think it'd be better.
Oh, I'd still want to fly for sure. I want to do whatever's going to get me just because it's going to get me there faster.
I don't know that it does, especially if you check luggage. So I added 2 hours to it, but there's 90 minutes of getting there early. That sucks. And then on the other side, that's why I mentioned check luggage.
You know what? I would be curious as to what the process for getting your luggage back when your train stops. Because right now, like the thing I dislike the most about air travel is you get there, and now there's another hour sometimes. Sometimes they just tax you around the fucking tarmac, and that's infuriating.
On a train. Oh, you meant before you get
on an actual aeroplane.
Yeah.
And then getting up there and getting your luggage. Sometimes you can't find the right carousel. Sometimes they lose your fucking shit and send it to another state. I've had that happen.
I pictured it as a pile in the car, like it is on small trains. Like if you take a train just down the road, then like the bus that takes you to the rental car place, they've got a little rack there.
Wow.
If it's that,
I'm not voting for that degenerate who wants to get an airplane.
Anyway, I only brought her up
if she
because
promises the planes are very, very fast, I'll vote for
I
her.
only brought her up because she mentioned that in DC, she was outraged that people were hiring homeless people to keep their spot in line. And I'm like,
that's hilarious.
Where's
who's the victim?
That's job creation.
That's job creation. Yes. Oh, you too good to stand in line? I just hired someone to do something for me. Is that in general a bad concept?
Are you too good to protect yourself? What are all these Secret Service agents around you for? Let's get you a pistol and you can guard yourself. Imagine the taxpayer savings. And those security guards can now be homeless.
That would be the coolest politician.
And they could stand in line. That would be
one who turned it down. It's like Representative Huxton from Montana turns down coverage. He's like, I didn't need coverage for myself and my family before, and I sure as hell don't now. You try. You come to my home here.
He'll tweet his own picture with crosshairs on it.
This is his own picture with crosshairs. This is my address. This is my face. I will fucking murder you and your kid. Whoever shows up with you, I'll kill. I'm governor now.
Mind the booby traps.
I don't sound like I'm from Montana for some reason, but I am in this example.
A drifter wandered onto my parts about last summer.
I don't know if you're from Missouri or West Virginia.
Out of him.
I'll tell you right here, there's a lot of mayhaps illegal booby traps on my property. Are you going to risk it? Antifa? I didn't think so. Showing up with your lock in a sock. I'll blow your goddamn head off.
That actually would be kind of cool.
Kevin McAllister's got nothing on me.
Yeah.
There was that moment, if you remember when Trump was running for office, when that guy did something. He pulled a gun out or he
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the Secret Service tried to pull Trump away and Trump was like, no. I'm not afraid, and stood there, and it was kind of cool, I that was a plus in the Trump column. You can't argue that it wasn't.
Yeah. He did For a guy that I don't think is actually tough, right? Like this is a guy who, the bone spurs for the nom and it just.
Would you have gone to Nom? I got you. Always shit on him for that. Would you'd have gone?
Yeah, I think I would have. I hope I would have. But I wasn't tested, so I don't.
Hope you would have.
Yeah, I hope I would have had courage. Yeah,
he doesn't mean he hopes that he wanted to go. He means like the same way if I got drafted into it or whatever, like I would want to have the self-respect to go. Just because it's kind of dishonorable in a way not to.
Yeah, I think it's
it's not. Not that war. Everyone agrees that was a criminal war.
Someone's going. Someone's going.
Soldiers don't know that.
So if you pretend to have bone spurs, they just grab the next guy in line.
Yeah. And if he doesn't pretend he has bone spurs, and he's a dummy. Look,
that's where the cowardness comes in.
If Yugoslavia bombs us tomorrow, and we start drafting every able-bodied man to go fight the Slavs, I'll sign up, okay? They have declared war on us. They've attacked us on our own soil.
Well, the thing about Yugoslavia is they're not a country anymore. So
if we get bombed by Yugoslavia,
exactly.
we have way bigger problems.
That's why I don't have to worry about talking shit like
they've invented time travel. From 92.
What I'm saying is,
I hear you. Right, it doesn't matter.
Russia. If the Russians come, then like, all right, I will go defend my homeland. I get it. They need me, and this is a just war. We have been attacked on our own soil with no provocation. Let's go. World War II was much like that, with the Japanese especially so. But when you've got the Vietnam War started by some fakery in the Gulf of Tonkin,
and then we just
it's a criminal war that's being perpetrated by two U.S. presidents. Kennedy wasn't going to go in there, so I don't blame Kennedy. I don't make it three, but
that's
two
why
U.S. presidents. That's why they killed him. That's part of it. The military-industrial complex. Watch his speeches. He talks about it.
Look into it.
Look into it.
I would not go to that. If I know what I know now, of course I'm from the future, there's no way I go to that war. And I like to think that if there were a war like that if the exact same thing happened again, right? If they were like, the Disney Starline cruise Magenta was taken down in Taiwanese waters. But then there's some like news sources like actually they were warned not to sail into those waters, and I heard tell that there actually was a skeleton crew on that boat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna wait a minute. Is the war like starting some?
Have you noticed there's not many grieving families, and that there was a U.S. destroyer there?
Now, what you gotta understand is this is Sandy Hook 2.0.
Now, this is the exact opposite of Sandy Hook. Sandy Hook, nothing happened. They wanted you to believe something did. Here, something did happen. They want you to believe it didn't. All the families are in the hold of that same ship. It's total control of the situation.
So when I hear someone skip out on Vietnam, like Muhammad Ali, for example, I view them as someone who was smart enough and brave enough to stand up and be like, no. I see that person as almost braver than the people who went over there and smoked dope and opium and killed children in villages to get body count.
I'm with you. I was with you until you went braver. Like I can see the argument.
They
for
took
not
him out
going
in his
to
prime,
Vietnam.
Woody.
But I still think there's a solid argument on my side, which I bet you can see. Which is like if they skip over me, they choose someone else, and why is in my heart of hearts? Why am I really going? Am I really going because I'm not going because it's a bad war or because I'm a pussy?
It's because it's a bad war. And it's because it's a bad war. That's why I see it that way. Yeah.
Well,
I suppose there were plenty of people there who were like, Foresight's 2020. Look.
When
why they were
Ted
on
Nugent
when they came back.
When Ted Nugent shit himself and left it like that for days, and I don't think he was honorably protesting. I think he was a pussy.
It's pretty brave to walk around covered in your own shit in public.
Yeah. Let's see you do it. Macho man. You shit yourself and walk around in it for a few days.
Dude, if you did that nowadays, you could get like a feminist improv art trophy or something.
Taylor, I identify as a diaper.
You gain the ability to learn any man's abilities and knowledge if you suck his dick to completion, and swallowing his load grants that knowledge or skill. If you do so, who would be your top three?
Man.
This is a Patreon question, by the way. If you'd like to submit your own Patreon questions, there's a link down below.
Do I gain their money or just their skills?
No. I'll repeat. It's a little poorly worded, but essentially, if you suck a dick and you swallow, you're going to gain that person's knowledge and abilities. So you'll be able to, if he speaks French, you can speak French. If he plays the guitar like Eric Clapton, now you can do so as well. You have to suck Eric Clapton's dick to do that. So who would
Seems
be your
worth
top
it.
3?
God, top 3. Like right away, I want to throw it away on some like paramotor paragliding.
Can I just add this guy?
Do not blow someone in the paramotoring.
Do not tell me who and who not to blow, Taylor.
That's true. I have no right to tell you how hard your dick should be or who you should blow.
This guy gave 2 examples. He goes, for example, if you suck LeBron James off, you will now have the level of ability to play level of ability to play basketball. If you suck Woody off, you now learn the ins and outs of how to degrade a Chili's waitress.
You know what? I was gonna say any kind of sports figure, but we're all too late in life to hop into most of the sports. So the good way to do it, I think, would be to blow like Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods, and who's that other guy?
Well,
Rory McIlroy. The
How
3
good
best
at golf do you want to be?
Because this is a career that I can do for the rest of my life. It's easy as shit. I'll be awesome at it, and I'll make a fuck ton of money. It's a sport that doesn't stop when I hit 35. I'll be fucking 62 still making a ton of money. So yeah, I'm gonna blow 3 golfers. Whoever the top 3 golfers are, I'll blow them.
Taylor makes a lot of sense. Are you sure?
I think
I
you
can't
only
just
need to
blow
blow
one
one
good
golf.
paragliding pilot?
I'm a patron. That's my question.
See, there's like some.
I think I'm gonna suck Shroud's dick. All right, I'm gonna get that sweet, delicious gaming skill.
You can suck that other streamer's dick you were talking about the other
Disney.
week.
And then I suck Lumi's dick. All right, and I was gonna do that anyway. And
I'm pretty good at Left 4 Dead. I'm just throwing that out there.
Not that good. So yeah, suck Shroud's dick, right? Get those sweet gaming skills. I think maybe I would like to blow like some sort of an Olympic level gymnast. Like I don't know who that would be, but somebody who could really do some crazy like gymnastic stuff.
Interesting.
And then I think I want to dig up Johnny Cochran and suck his dead black dick so that I can defend myself. And
you can't come, you can't swallow it. You don't.
You can't suck a dead person to completion.
Sorry. Okay. Well, pick a lawyer. I'll
Alan
suck
Dershowitz.
There you go. That's a name.
Actually, you know what would be good?
He was also
all I have
OJ's
to do
defender.
is blow Jack Nicklaus, and I get all of the golf skills I need. Then I have 2 more blowjobs to spend, and I could do like.
I thought you wanted to be really good at golf.
I'll just be good in. He's done fine. Like he's done great for himself. So if I get his skill set, I think I'll be okay. That one, if I blew like Putin or Xi Jinping or something like the leader of Russia or China, I'd have all their knowledge and I know the ins and outs, like all the shit that's going on. Trump, I don't think he'd learn much about the ins and outs of some things. I wouldn't care about political knowledge. I'd want like maybe blow like a mathematician or something, because that's something I've never been that good at, and I'd suddenly be brilliant. That'd be fun. Well, the effect of it would be fun. Getting there would be just soul ruining. Like because like think about it. Like if they can tell, if Jack Nicklaus can tell, I'm giving a half-hearted beach. He's not going to be into it, and it's going to take him even longer, which means that as a form of self-defense against this situation I started, I have to be really into it, Like, that's the way you get it done as quickly as possible. You have to be very into the blowjob, or just do it in a very dark room and play porn for him. That's a good idea. These are good ideas, Woody.
I'm struggling on my 3.
Who's the smartest person in the world? That's a dumb person thing to Google. It's certainly not me.
So Brian Cox is on my list. Brian Cox was just on the JRE show, and he seemed to understand all these things about physics and everything sciencey, global warming, physics. He's like explaining how the universe is flat and how they measure the birth of the dawn of the universe. He's the smartest guy I can think of right now, Brian Cox.
No, so yes. Famous black gay Jussie Smollett, I believe is his name.
That's his name.
That's right, isn't Taylor?
What did old Jussie Smollett do? He's
Well,
this black Frenchman
Yes, he is. He's a wine expert, I'm told. He's on the show Empire. And
Never seen it.
Never will, never will. And so my understanding is that a few weeks ago he came out, and you and I discussed this semi-privately how we thought it was bullshit.
Yeah.
Chiz is taking credit for being the first to be like bullshit because he tweeted it even like right away. He tweeted,
tons of people
bullshit.
tweeted it right away.
He claimed that he was accosted on the streets of Chicago, I believe. Excuse me.
Coldest week of the year at like 2 a.m. or something.
2 a.m, coldest week of the year, by two white guys in MAGA hats, and they beat him, poured bleach on him, and hung a rope around his neck.
He does look light-skinned.
From the bleach.
I'm starting to buy into this story. It could be.
You know how they always talk
you
about
flipped
like you know that whole thing where like steel beams don't melt, and that was part of it. Bleach freezes. Okay, they were out there waiting on this guy in the freezing cold for hours, apparently, to walk by because he was targeted clearly by his description of events.
Yeah.
So he stumbled.
And you need to remember, they screamed as they were coming at him, get out of here! And then like a bunch of epithets. This is MAGA country. Downtown Chicago. This is MAGA country. Yeehaw! Woo! 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 This is MAGA country. What are you doing here with your fucking footlong BLT?
I'm glad you mentioned that. That's part of the first time I heard this. It's when I started to. So everyone was doubting the story, and I'm like, I just stayed quiet, waiting for the facts. And then when I heard that he, like, after this beating and bleaching and MAGA country craziness, that he made it back with his Subway sandwich unharmed, that's when I started doubting.
Oh,
the
they
whole
didn't
thing.
take
He left the rope around his neck.
He left the rope
that's
around
what you were
his
saying,
neck.
Lane.
And
When
his
I heard
scratch on
that-
his face was so superficial that even the Chicago PD is like, he probably like did this to himself with a key, would be my guess. I don't know. Like, this is certainly not what you get. See how it's uniform and shallow? That's not what happens when you get the shit beat out of you here in MAGA country.
I have hate crimed many a black in my days in the Chicago PD, and let me tell you, they look a lot worse than that. Okay.
Yeah, and then it came out, like he said for the longest time, like he doubled down his Good Morning America interview where he's like, oh, they got me and they attacked me and whatnot. And then it comes out that he hired 2 Nigerians who are also working on Empire to do this to him. Footage comes out of the 2 Nigerian brothers in a convenience store buying supplies for it.
Hate crime supplies.
And then the funniest fucking thing is he paid them by check. How much of a fucking retard do you have to be to go through all of this? This guy is a fucking idiot. Stone cold retard to think like all these mistakes wouldn't catch you.
What's the going rate for this? Do we know how much you get paid for?
$3,500 is what he paid him.
Wow, I'd have hate crimed him for that.
Yeah, I'd have done it for $3,200.
It's a good deal.
Yeah,
It's a good deal to fake a hate crime and become
you
part
have to
of
wait in the cold.
You become part of a criminal conspiracy, and it's a pretty serious felony. But hey,
3,500 is 3,500.
In
Yeah,
Nigeria, I could buy an entire village. So these guys are. This is hilarious. I saw Joe Rogan talk about this. They were like, when this story first came out, we went off the air, and I looked at Jamie and I was like, bullshit. Bullshit. He was like, yeah, no way, no fucking way. But we couldn't say anything because that's how things are now. You're not allowed to question. You're not allowed to question when a gay black man says that he was MAGA'd. You just gotta take it. You just gotta take it on face value, And I thought it was funny because Taylor brings this up all the time. How there's so many false flag hate crimes since Trump has gotten into office. There's been a bunch of them where these people will paint swastikas on Jewish, what are they called, temples or
Jewish cemeteries. That one that was really popular and big in the news for a while, it was an Israeli citizen doing it. Or the bomb threats calling in to all the synagogues, it was an Israeli citizen doing it to them. And it's if these things are so prevalent, like, why not just go with the real stories? Like, why does this guy need to pump it up and pump the gas that much? Like, who could possibly believe that someone is screaming, this is MAGA country in Chicago when it's like minus 30?
The angle I've been hearing is that this isn't somehow to slander MAGA people. It was to, like, his motivation was to enliven his career. Like,
Yeah, he's getting-
why would we trust this guy's self-reported motivation for this? Like, I don't trust anything
Taylor,
he does.
I don't know why you're so skeptical of this man at this point.
Do you know that he was
seems
charged
like
with
Is it
providing
because he's
false
black? It's
Do you know
because
he
he's
was
black,
charged-
isn't it,
he
Taylor?
was
You just don't
charged-
trust him.
Yeah, you're right. That's it. He was charged in 2007 with providing false information to police.
Do you know what I'm curious. Do you know much more about that?
So Jussie
That's not even that
Smollett.
interesting. You can look it up. I don't know what the information
Yeah,
was.
I'm not
I just
doubting
saw
it. I'm just like,
it was.
what
It was
that
one thing that came up. Yeah. Definitely not this big a deal.
Well,
So-
he tried.
He did his best.
Yeah.
So Jussie Smollett was in some trouble with his show. There were talks that maybe he was going to get cut or something like that. The Empire higher ups are now, quote unquote, closely watching the situation.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, because I read about his job. He works for Fox. I guess Fox Entertainment is different than Fox News, but whatever.
Well, yeah, Fox makes Empire.
Right. And they were saying that he was always professional and great on the show, and they're still deciding about his future after this fraud. So, anyway, I don't know. I don't know what
I thought it was also
of it.
suspicious when, like, I think one of the things he said was that he was on the phone with someone when the attack happened, and the police were like, "Oh shit, well, give us your phone, and we'll be able to corroborate that." And he was like, "Nah." And at first, I was like, "Well, maybe he's got like dick pics on his phone or something. He doesn't want to be like he's a celebrity. He probably doesn't want to unlock his phone and hand it over to law enforcement. That you're a dummy if you do that. If you're anyone, but you could be like." Let me go I have some personal stuff on my phone. Let me go take that off. I'll bring it to you tomorrow. Like, that's what you do, right? Like that's what you do.
Yeah, you don't just withhold altogether.
I hire an attorney. I don't know what to do. I know this. You hire an expert and you follow their advice. That's how you do a lot of things like that in life, kids. That's what I would do. So if a cop wanted my phone,
a race bait fraud attorney.
You need a criminal attorney.
You're on.
Yeah. An attorney.
But can we not agree?
Yeah.
Fuck white people. Like, well, that's poignant.
The prosecutor's like, damn it, he used the fuck white people method. God damn it, pulling his hair out.
Your Honor, I enter into evidence slavery. Damn it, he's using the slavery defense.
Do we need a new topic?
I mean, if you guys were going to fake a hate crime,
Okay.
you would not go this over the top. Like, you would do what I think we're all smart enough to orchestrate our own fake hate crime and not have it crumble the way this guy's did. What would your do you have any ideas of how you would fake a hate crime against you?
Against our own personal selves as white men.
Yeah, like do what Jussie Smollett did, where you set up a fake hate thing so that you get attention for it. You definitely wouldn't want to go so far as people in Chicago are screaming, "This is MAGA country."
Yeah, that's not a good one.
It's not believable.
No, not at all.
So I think you need some good co-conspirators, right? Like I don't know any. Like if I got Jeremy
I'll
to
do
like
it.
come.
Yeah.
Oh,
Kyle, you didn't even think of me? I'm a
I'll
little
beat you
hurt.
up for $3,500.
I didn't do it for free, but yeah, just sign the back of the check and.
I assault people all of the time for free. I absolutely will do this for 3,500 American.
Yeah, I don't know. I think as white men, it's difficult.
My
because,
first instinct was to pin it on a fan. Sorry, guys.
But that wouldn't be a hate crime because they weren't doing it.
Oh, it
because,
needs to be a hate crime.
It would have to be because you're white or because you're.
Because I feel like I've got enough fan history, like videos made about me and SWAT teams called on me and stuff like that, that they'd be like, this is the 17th one, and they finally heard him, right? Like, there's a long history of, like, verifiable fussing at me.
I mean, what if you got swatted and
that's not
the
it.
cops shot you? Could you sue the department?
It seems to be very tough to sue policemen for shooting
I
you.
don't
None of
know.
these guys seem to win.
Yeah.
It's a weird
Up against
thing
the
where,
state.
like, I feel like for Kyle to shoot, or to make it me, I don't know why I made it Kyle, for me to shoot someone, I really have to, like, prove that I was in a dangerous spot and that I couldn't leave. And there's a lot of, you had no choice type things that surround shooting someone in most states. But cops, all they had to be like, I was a little scared. He was 21 feet away, made me nervous.
You want to see a cop shoot someone?
See, step one from
Obviously.
your hate crime fakery, you can't be beating you up because they'll notice there's not enough beating. It would have to be something, and it couldn't be rape because they'd check your ass.
Yeah,
It would be. It could be something like
You assume
he-
if they
he
check
held
my
a
ass,
gun
they'd
to
find
me.
nothing, Taylor. You don't
he
know
would
what
hold-
I'm
he
into.
He held a gun to me, and he said, "You better suck this dick, you little straight boy." And so I sucked his dick, and it took him forever to come. I'm not very good. That's why you can see me, Your Honor, from 3:15 a.m. until 4:40. I'm blowing him in that alley. You can see many other white supremacists walk by and filmed it. I'm all over red tube now.
I'm not good. It was the first time I sucked dick, as far as you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you wouldn't get away with it if it's like, he forced me to suck his dick, and it's like, Your Honor, this well-seasoned gay man who forced you to suck his penis, would you say, sir, you've had a good amount of time with your penis in others' mouths? Well, yes, definitely. And how long does it usually take you to climax? Give or take. Oh, 8 to 12 minutes, I'd say. And how long, I ask, did it take you to climax with Mr. Taylor? Well, no more than 90 seconds. He really knows what he's doing. Damn it. Son of a bitch, the great tongue defense.
what are some of the better afterlives? Because like after watching
Christianity.
Is that right?
And Islam, right?
I don't think so, because the thing about Christianity, like if you really know your stuff, they're like, oh well, you won't know any of your family when you're there. You'll all just be one of God's children. I mean, it's like, what you mean? I won't be able to like live with my grandma and know that she's my grandma and stuff? No, it doesn't
Wait,
work.
where are
that
you
way.
getting this?
From preachers and
Oh, I was always told that if I go to heaven, I'll get to see
scholars.
my dogs again.
Scholars? Yeah, no,
your dogs
my
your dogs
my
are not going to
understanding-
be there.
All
the answer
dogs
they
go
always
to
told
heaven.
us was like, we don't
That's a
know
movie.
exactly.
Oh, my source is as good as yours.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, like Muslims, they get the virgins. No, they only get that if they die like in a jihad thing or whatever, right?
I'm not sure.
Or is that an across the board thing? Like it couldn't possibly be across the board. There aren't enough women, right?
There's
What
a
do
lot
Mormons.
of people
Mormons get their own planet. Did you know that?
that, they go to the celestial temple. Yeah.
Yeah, they get their own planet, and they get to be like the ruler of that. That's my understanding of it, based on a 3-minute YouTube video that I didn't watch the entire.
Let me read this. Here's a question: Will we be able to see and know our friends and family members in heaven? Will we know each other in heaven? Answer: many people say that the first thing they want to do when they arrive in heaven is see all their friends and loved ones who have passed on before them. In eternity, there will be plenty of time to see, know, and spend time with our friends and family members. However, that will not be our primary focus in heaven. We will be far more occupied with worshiping God and enjoying the wonders of heaven. Our reunions with loved ones are more likely to be filled with recounting the grace and glory of God in our lives, His wondrous love, and His mighty works.
God is such an
That sounds
egotistical
so
dick.
fucking boring.
Oh my! You know what? You're gonna spend most of your time just praising me and thinking about my grace and how awesome I am.
Grandpa! It's so good to see you, because I'm busting at the seams to talk to someone about how great God is, right? Right? Let me tell you about the glories of God. Don't you want to ask me about what it was like in the war, since I never got to meet you, Billy? No, not at all. Fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Let's talk about these clouds. I mean, just
Or if you
endless
like start a conversation where it's like, Billy, how are you? What was your life like? It's like, it was great. I had 2 grandchildren eventually, and I tried to model my life after you, and you just hear God like, I hear someone not talking about all right, we'll get back to this. God, got to clock in at worship work.
I don't even know my commandments off the top of my head, but aren't like 3 of them devoted to just loving God as much as
no
possible?
other gods, no idols, do not take the Lord's name in vain. Like 3 of them all about God right off the bat.
Yeah.
Nothing about rape.
Good to know.
Don't murder children.
I'm the 11th commandment. They're built for it.
Oh, Jesus.
And now we know God is Sean Connery. Yeah.
I imagine God is Sean Connery. Like Sean Connery from The Rock. You know, when he was in the prison and he had the long beard and the long hair and everything. For reference sake, I'll get an image.
You're allowed to slap a bitch up here.
The 72 virgins thing, not true. It's a myth. I Googled it.
Wow.
It's raisins.
So it's even worse than I thought.
Yes, yeah. It's a thing that Westerners have seized upon to mock Muslims. But really, there's just like a passing reference to it that could be interpreted in multiple ways.
Yeah, it's about raisins, right?
Not on this
72
page.
raisins.
Yeah,
I
you get
can't tell if
72
you're
raisins.
goofing.
That's what I imagine God as,
Yeah, that's pretty godly.
right?
You know, if I die and Sean Connery greets
Yeah,
me,
I was
I'll know
right.
I
It's
lived a good
72
life.
raisins, not virgins. Yeah.
Who wants 72 raisins? That's like 2 boxes of Sun.
Well, what you got to
Nature's
keep in mind
candy.
is when the Quran was written, 72 raisins was quite the reward.
Really? Because
Dude, you
grapes
couldn't
aren't that
get me to-
rare.
And in 2,000 years ago, you get yourself up 72 raisins and come see me, because
feel like
you, sir,
Every
are the
vine
king
would
of the
have
castle.
that, right?
No, absolutely not. You would be eating every grape you found just to stay alive.
I mean, I've made
You wouldn't have
wine
time
before.
to dry them out and save them up. Who has that bounty of extra food lying around but a king?
Yeah, that's true. Based on you seem
Based
convincing.
on these things I'm making up as I speak. But here's a link right here that says it. Right there. It has been said that Muslim martyrs will be rewarded with 72 virgins in heaven or paradise, but the growing number of Quran scholars and Islamic theologians have contested its interpretation. Apparently, it's raisins.
Dude, being a scholar or interpreter for an ancient holy book would be the dopest job.
Oh?
Like if it was just like, this is Taylor, the Bible scholar. What does this verse about beating slaves with a stick mean? Well, it actually means the opposite. It means that was a test. God did not want you to beat slaves like that. And that's shown in John 1, where it says, "Behold, for I am he who would not say that." And then they're not scholars. What are they going to do? Dispute my authority? It's like them coming to me and being like, "Why wouldn't the eagles just fly the ring to Mordor?" And I have to be like, "Well, the ring corrupts, absolutely. And that's why they gave the ring to Frodo, because he's weak and it took longer for the ring to convert him, whereas the powerful eagle would have been corrupted immediately, similar to if Gandalf had taken it."
No, because
That's the actual explanation.
No, that's bullshit, and I'll tell you why.
Taylor, what do you know about Lord of the Rings?
Nothing.
Well, he's just think about it this way. Sam was like, "I can't carry the ring, Mr. Frodo, but I can't carry you." And he throws Frodo on his back, right? Same thing with the eagle. The eagle can't carry the ring, sure, but it can carry Frodo.
No, that's why, like the possession of it is what's going to do it. Like if the ring is on the back of an eagle, it controls it.
How?
But-
if the ring is on the back of an eagle, it's going to fall off like 50 feet off of the deck.
I think Kyle's bringing up a strong point. And Taylor, did you fully consider it? Like, how is an eagle carrying
scholar-
Frodo any different than Sam carrying Frodo?
Because otherwise, my whole scholarly degree doesn't make any sense. So that's, yeah, I don't fucking know. You're right. That should be the number one retort. But yay, eagles do not haveth fingers. Whence where the ring will
They
be?
do
Pray
have
tell.
On Sam's
They have talons.
necklace.
They would drop. They would do what eagles do, or falcons, and they would drop the hobbit, crush him on the rocks below, and then they would go.
Why does the hobbit have
They
to be
would-
in their talons? He rides on the back of the eagle.
I'm saying the eagle, with its power and with the ring so close, the ring would call to it, as it does. The ring called to Gandalf, trying to get him to pick it up. The ring called to
That elven
Gollum. The ring
chick.
called to Sam. The ring
That's-
called to Arwen. The ring called to Elrond. Like it called to all these powerful people, because the more powerful the wielder, the more powerful the ring can be.
It called to
it's like
Ned
it
Stark,
augments it.
Boromir.
See, this is how religious shit goes. Now I'm buying into my own shit.
So now we know Taylor's not fooled. He actually believes it.
I know.
Wait,
Yeah, I
that's
really
the same
am.
thing. Taylor's not lying. He actually believes it.
True. Yeah. Oh. Aha.
I don't fucking care anymore.
No. Well, who would you blow? Want to go back and revisit that treasure map of a topic?
Hey! How dare you denigrate the questions provided by our wonderful listeners?
I thought it was funny. I liked that.
You can't lose.
I can't lose.
Wouldn't you like to ride around in a V6 powered death wagon that's got, ball tires just on the left side for some reason?
That's like the way like a
Is that a real
guy.
thing? Tell me that's not a symptom of Wings'
Of
car.
course it's not. It's me making fun of fatty Boobalatti over there who got weight loss surgery months and months ago and hasn't lost a considerable amount of weight at all. All right. Dude's been, he's eating.
He has
ice.
lost a lot of weight. Or I don't know the updates.
He has not. If you do the math, it's pathetic.
I
don't know,
disagree.
but you don't know what his current total
So I
is.
have no idea how much he weighs, but I saw a progress photo on his Twitter not so long ago, and
With
he
the warped
looked
mirror?
fantastic.
I
did
don't
you
think that
notice-
was a slimming mirror.
Did you know it? So first of all, it is a slimming mirror. It's not him doctoring the photo, but the effect is, even though he wasn't attempting to make it happen via a edit in his phone, was that it slims him down. The mirror is concaved in toward his body, which means you are seeing less of him than there actually is, even though he is not editing the photograph. Dude, I know what someone who weighs 330 pounds looks like. He's nowhere near that. He's 360. I would bet solid hard money that he's right around 360 pounds, which means he's lost 50 pounds. Are you fucking kidding me? And all of these months.
I'm looking at this URL.
Wait,
I don't
what was the
think
starting
it's
weight
going to
again?
link directly.
Nobody really fucking knows, but let's just call it 425.
Can you guys get on the same page as me? I think you need to follow that link and manually find it. But you will find him in the mirror, and the picture's like mostly yellow sepia for some reason. Can you tell me when you found it?
Yeah, you see the door frame bent extremely inward toward him?
I do. That I was going to point out the same thing. The mirror's straight as an arrow.
Yeah. So the issue here, I've done a lot of research into this. Look, and look, I like to think that I'm the guy who will only call Wings out on actual bullshit he does. This is not him editing the photograph. It's not. It's the effect of his angle and that particular mirror, because I've seen him prove that, and I believe him because he proved it. However,
Wait. What did he prove?
they were like, "Hey, dude, look at this. The mirror, it's concaved in toward you." And he's like, "I'll be right back." He runs to the bathroom, goes click, runs right back like a minute later, and he's like, "Look at this photograph. Same effect. That's just how that mirror looks when you stand there. That's just the effect of this particular mirror from that particular angle." And I believe that. However, it still provides a slimming effect, even if he's not actually doctoring the photo. So if you're accusing him of doctoring the photo, you're wrong. However, if you're accusing that photo of not being an accurate representation of how he actually looks, you may be onto something.
I don't know.
I'll tell you this.
That mirror is definitely inward, curving inward, though. I see exactly
It absolutely
what you're
is.
talking
And that is effect you get from that particular mirror, from that particular angle. Maybe the fucking trailer walls are warped in from like steamy baths. Who knows? They're made out of paper.
It's like the mirrors at Nordstrom or Macy's who try and make you think you look better than you do. And then you
It's
get
skinny.
home and look in your own mirror and you're like, oh, God, what a disappointment.
Yeah. I'll admit when I'm wrong about something. For example, I mentioned that he had that airbag issue a while back. Well, he was like, actually, Kyle, when my car was crashed, it was crashed so badly that the airbags deployed. So joke's on you. They already replaced them with good airbags. And my thought process was like, God, that's actually worse. If the airbags deployed, the crash was so bad. Like that actually sounds like a worse deal for
Yeah, a real
for
deal
you
crash.
than it sounds like a real deal crash. But yeah, I saw he tried to do a push-up the other day and he couldn't do one.
Well, I mean, that's not surprising. He weighs a lot and he's not used to doing push-ups.
Well, you got to make your mind up. Has he lost a lot of weight, or is he so heavy he shouldn't be able to do one?
Well, he was
push-up?
so heavy that he couldn't do a push-up, but he's still heavy enough that a push-up would be hard.
Not
like
hard,
if you weigh
impossible.
350 pounds
He collapsed.
or something.
Actually, let me lay that on Taylor. Taylor, you're strong, Taylor. And if you 150 pounds, if I just put 150 pounds and distributed most of it on your top half and a little on your legs, could you do a push-up?
Unfair comparison. The correct comparison would be, oh, did I just fucking freeze? Oh,
For
there
a
we go.
second, you.
Oh, for a second, but
Oh,
you're back.
You're
I'm doing it
frozen
again.
again.
I hope you can hear my voice. The correct
Yes.
comparison would be, Taylor, if Woody lived on your back for the next 6 months, at the end of that, could you do a push-up? And the answer is yes. Not only could you do a push-up, you'd be a beast.
This is the work. You know what? I'm gonna do.
I believe I
Not
get a
the-
lot of workout just trying to hang on.
Just hanging
Yeah.
on. Up there.
I might have as hard a job. Yeah.
Taylor's like,
that's-
honey, please, could you get on top tonight? I can't do this.
And Woody's just mushed
Oh,
up.
under both of them at this point.
No.
Woody, you have to move your legs exactly like mine too, or else it's weird.
We
You know?
make a
Can't we do
Taylor
doggy
sandwich.
Guys? Doggy guys, it's more comfortable, and I get a show.
That would be a funny revamp of
All
the
right.
FPS boot camp. It's like, this time Taylor's coming. I didn't buy any equipment or change the shower. I'm just gonna strap myself to his back for 30 days, and then it's just that's what
Man,
it is.
I'm still stuck on this picture, and I don't have any counterpoints for Kyle. I want to say,
Yeah.
like,
I'm here to defend Wings on this point. I wish my camera would stop being a fucking bitch. I'm here to defend him on this point. I don't think that he is doing any tomfoolery with his in-camera, in-phone app or anything like that. You know,
No,
I don't think he's. I don't even think he's adding like a beautification filter necessarily or anything like that.
I think he's lost more than 50 pounds.
I think I don't know.
Like,
If he
there's
was
got to be
so-
like a.
big around the middle. It's hard to look at this picture and say he's not big around the middle, but it just seems like he's lost a lot of mass. And I know this picture is flattering because of the thing it's doing, but dude, like, one, I don't think he could have fit in a Mustang very well beforehand, and now
Fit
he
in my
owns
Camaro
one
when he was 425.
very well.
I wasn't there to see it, and if I had been there to see it, I wouldn't have allowed it.
He looks like a person I might see every day.
Yeah. I'll give you that. However, you see 350-pound people every day. I think he's about 350, 360. And he has
What's the
admitted himself.
claim?
What do you mean?
So you're saying he weighs 350. What does he say he weighs? Does he give any numbers?
He will not give numbers. And that's another reason why I think he's lost very little weight. I think he's losing, like, I'm sorry, but I don't remember how many months it's been. But I think he's losing. I think in the first months he lost maybe 10 pounds a month, and now he's slowed down to like 6 pounds a month or 5 pounds a month that he's losing. And frankly, that's absurd. That's absurd.
He should do shit on his Twitch where he's like, all right, every time I hit like the new $1,000 mark or whatever, I do another weight loss pick and update.
Yeah,
So
he
then
should
you get
do
more
stuff like that.
donations, and it'll force him to stay on the ball, so that he'll like, because you don't
He
want to
won't-
have to take
You know-
pictures and show you're stagnating.
But let me pitch the other side of that. If he had been open and honest about his numbers, isn't it possible or even probable that nothing would be good enough? He would have to be in the top 1 or at least 5% of success stories with this thing for fans to be not on his case.
I don't
if
think
he's
so.
not
As long as
losing-
like,
If
ahead.
he's not, in my opinion, if he's not losing 12 pounds a month, he's a failure. Like with a capital F. Like if I were his like personal trainer or his like life coach, or if it were me in his shoes and I weren't losing 12 pounds a month at least every month, I would consider myself a complete and utter failure in that regard. I don't get it, because like that's what I lose.
Do you know
when
the
I
name
want
of
to
his
lose weight.
surgery? The gastric bypass, sleeve, something else?
It's the gastric.
sleeve, right?
No, it's not the sleeve. I don't like getting it wrong because he makes us seem like we're ignorant. And
Is it the lap band?
It's not the lap band. They cut out part of his stomach, and now he has a tiny stomach. I think. But I could be wrong about that. It's been so long since I read the documents and everything, and I don't like being wrong about it because he makes a big deal out of it whenever we say something that's wrong, like we're like providing misinformation intentionally or something. But like I've looked at the stats. He should be losing huge amounts of weight. Like he should only be able to consume, like, so he's supposed to be eating 600 calories a day tops. Okay. And we all know that like a pound is like 3,500 calories or something like that. And then you can calculate his base metabolic rate, and the numbers just don't add up. Like he's eating a lot of when he's chilly, I guess. And that's not ideal. I don't think. I think he's losing a lot of muscle, but he's not losing a lot of fat. It seems like he's being really inactive. I don't know. Look, I'm not his fucking life coach. I wouldn't want that fucking job. That's a suicide.
You had it
way,
for a
man.
month.
Yeah, it was one of the worst months of my life, and I've had some rough ones.
Yeah, you had some rough. Oh, speaking of rough moments and stuff, my girlfriend listens to the show.
Okay.
And gets a kick out of it and thinks it's funny. And she was like, "Oh, I was listening to last week's episode, and the Kyle's jail stories at the end. I was just dying laughing about how much he was talking about boiled eggs and apparently how integral a currency that is in the county jail." And so, yeah, I bet a ton of people loved the jail stories. Those were so funny.
I hope so.
I'm so sad that I wasn't there for them. I'm sure I think about jail second most on this show. I think I'm there.
I think you have some inflated idea of what it is. Like you think of like jail as like maximum security, hard ass, like big state, scary prison. When there's like 32 flavors of jail.
Yeah,
like if I end up having to go to a jail, I've been told what facility it would be, and it's been described to me, and it's a real breeze.
Would you improve your tennis game at such a facility?
Not my tennis game, but there'd be a lot of like library time. There'd be a lot of reading and a lot of like chilling and a lot of like tax cheats in there with me and that sort of thing. And any sentence apparently that I may get, you can just cut 6 months off of it because that's the way federal sentencing works. You know, like the end. Like if you were to be sentenced to 6 months, then you don't go to jail. If they sentence you to 6 months of federal prison, you don't go to prison. You go to a halfway house where you basically sleep at night and then your days are yours. And so like
that's not bad as far as, you know, incarceration is concerned.
Yeah.
Halfway house.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's you could probably Postmates food to a white collar prison, right?
No.
You wouldn't allow that?
That would be cool though.
You're throwing a fit in prison. We've got a riot on C Block. Mr. Myers didn't get his Big Mac sauce order right again. Throwing a fucking tantrum.
Yeah. So like I get what you're saying when you talk about those scary prisons like Oz or something. Like, yeah, that doesn't sound like any fun.
There's a couple of YouTubers who came from probably what you'd call scary prisons, and they made it seem like you can go through prison and not get into trouble if you can maintain a certain social discipline for, I'll just make up a number, for 5 years or something. And I think, man, like 5 years without not, busting a joke with the wrong guy.
I've never maintained any sort of social discipline ever.
Like there's the guy, they were telling Yo Mama jokes, right? Going back and forth, back and forth. Well,
you're gonna talk about a Khan's mama?
So
that's all he's got.
That's right. That's right. So Con 1 busts on Con 2's mama. Con 2 busts on Con 1. This goes back and forth. By like the fifth joke, Con 1 is like, you went too far. Now I'm going to beat you. Now you're going to pay for that one. And the guy telling the story was like, I find that wrong. They were going like back and forth, but he knew. So he wore his shoes to sleep the next day. Apparently that's important in pre-fight preparation, but it wasn't enough. They dragged him out of bed, and the slam of getting dragged out of bed was the finishing move. And I'm like, fuck, that sounds awful.
It's like that scene in The Sopranos where like the gangsters are on those union jobs where they just sit around outside and they don't actually work. They're just collecting like benefits and money, and they're sort of ripping on each other. And the one guy's like, yeah, I saw Mikey's girlfriend. Should have seen the mustache on her like a firefighter. And everybody goes, ha, 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 ha. And he goes, well, you'd know best about that, wouldn't you, sugar? And he goes, what the fuck did you say? Because he just called him gay.
Yeah.
What the fuck did you say? Well, you'd know about those mustaches. And everybody like, yeah, you turned it around and got him good. The guy gets up and he's like, I'm going to go take a piss. And then he smashes the guy who talks shit in the eye with a glass bottle. And the guy's just like, my eye. And there's just blood pouring everywhere. And some like actual working Joe who's actually working there goes, this is bullshit. I'm calling the cops. And like, what did you say? and he fucking lead pipes that guy in the head. so
Sounds
you
like
know,
an entertaining scene. I need to get back.
You're
Oh,
funny.
Sopranos is the
Right? Is it
best.
Casino the movie? Like, oh, funny to you like I'm a clown? Am I funny to you like I'm a clown? Oh, they only just said the wrong thing. And I just
Is there a little, do you hear a little girl in this bar? There's a tough guy in here, and that sounds like a little girl in this bar. You hear anything? Sound like someone whimpering. Sound like
I love that scene. That's where he stabs the guy like
with a
multiple
pen
times with a
over
pen.
and over.
And he's crying now. He's
I
like,
could have sworn there was a big tough guy in here. Did you
yeah,
see
where'd he go? Where'd he go? No, there's this little girl. There's
There's a little girl crying on the floor.
girl.
Bunch of bick marks in her back.
the question is, and I'll present this to the listener, can you maintain that social discipline for 5 years? I think Kyle's
Hell
better
no.
at average than this. I think Kyle could. Taylor thinks he couldn't. I think I couldn't. There's people on both sides of this, but it's like, dude, I just don't know if I. In the story he tells, it's very important when you walk by all these cells to look straight ahead. And this guy got a stern talking to warning. Like the,
Yeah,
but he was
I would
walking
never
by.
look into a cell like you don't know what might be going on in there. Maybe you see something you shouldn't see.
Yeah.
You would never look into a cell.
You can see something you don't even want to see, right? Like now you're burdened with a secret. You know, there are questions I don't ask people just because I don't want to be in on that secret. Like I don't want to have to filter and think and whatever. I just you know what? I don't.
You don't
want to know.
like spend too much time next to one cell either, as you learn in Silence of the Lambs when Clarice is
I can
leaving.
smell your
and as
cunt!
she's leaving, that guy throws a big wad of cum, hits her right smack in the face,
He
and then she
must
has
have
to
been
leave
practicing.
covered in cum.
That guy should go to the Olympics for the cum throw because he must have been practicing that his entire stay in that facility because he flicks that cum. First of all, he's able to get himself off in the time between she walking by his cell and her having that conversation with Hannibal Lecter. But he's coming to climax just as she passes back by and he flicks it right into her hair face area. And she's just like, ah!
Some
Do you
people have
remember
a
what
gift.
Hannibal did to him though?
No.
Hannibal whispered to him all night, and the next day they found him. He'd swallowed his tongue, his own tongue. Hannibal,
I had forgotten about
That's
that.
quite the
Hannibal's-
superpower.
Hannibal said something so horrific to this guy and got inside the guy's head that the guy swallowed his own tongue, killed himself.
Yeah.
That's what he gets for being a cum whipper.
All the prison stories I see make it seem like if you handle yourself socially just right, you're okay.
You have your cum in your outstretched hand like it's sand. You just blow it onto him.
That's the move.
How would you throw your cum? It'd have to be a quick whip.
I think it's
Yeah, a whip. It's on your palm with a little bit of stick to it, and you.
That would be, yeah.
That scene, and there's something about Mary when I saw it the first time was like the pinnacle of funny in my life up until that point. I laughed harder at that than I had ever laughed at anything ever. When he like jerks off and he's like, "Fuck, where'd it go? Fuck, where did it go?" And then he answers the door and she's like, "Hey, how's it going? What's that? Is that hair gel? He's got fucking cum dripping off his ear." And he goes, yeah, it's hair gel. And she just grabs the cum off of his ear and goes, "Oh, great. I forgot." And she fucking styles her hair with it. And now her
And
hair
then the
is just-
scene when they go out to dinner later,
straight
he's
up.
sitting there looking, and she's just got the Ricky Martin held up with cum just right on top of her
Dude,
head.
I love that.
That's such a
So
fun
the movie's Something About Mary, and it's the cover. Like if you buy the DVD, there's Mary on the cover with cum in her hair, holding her hair up.